Hello? My name, this is the Nubian Sumo. Is this the sheriff's office? Yeah. That's exactly who I need you to do a wellness check on a guy named Don Rodriguez. Yeah, Rodriguez. See, something happened on this wrestling show tonight, and we thinking, we need a wellness check, man. We need to think something happened to him. Yeah, man. Hey, description? Oh, he's gonna be a juju bead headed dude with some glasses. He's gonna be running around with a whole bunch of white hoes and whatnot. Look like lot lizards. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I see him now. Okay. All right. Thank you, though. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, man. What's going on? We thought we lost you there, buddy. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm sorry about starting the show like this, but I was genuinely concerned. I mean, did you all see what happened tonight? I mean, we're gonna get into it here in a minute, but we got KG over here. You know my man KG right here, and then we got your boy right there. We was concerned about him, man. As soon as that happened, man, we don't talk about it, but as soon as it happened, oh my God, it was like all I could imagine was like pills and razor blades and bullets and all kinds of crazy. I thought he was going to unalive himself. I mean, I was actually. I don't usually give a damn about this motherfucker, but tonight, oh my God, I was actually concerned. I actually had a concern about this motherfucker tonight. So, how y'all doing? What's going on? Money in the Bank was tonight. We gonna talk about it though. We'll talk. KG, what's going on, man? How you doing, man? What's going on with you? Man. You here? I'm glad all of us are here. You know what I'm saying? How you doing down there, bro? How you doing, Don? You doing okay? Where's your wife, man? Where's your wife and kids, man? We need a unicorn tonight. Where's the unicorn? We need the unicorn. We need a unicorn tonight. There it is. Yeah, that's enough. That's good. That's good. Make sure he's alive. Make sure he's. It's not because I'm over it. Just want to say to our fans. You kind of quiet down there. You okay? I mean, come on, say something.
Fuck you, James. Up, Daddy.
And there it is. He's alive. He's alive.
With this amount of excitement, you would have think we made picks tonight.
Whoa, this is better than picks. This is way better than picks. It's finally happening, folks. It's finally happening. After all these years, it's finally happening.
We're gonna move this show along because this some bitch. is enjoying this a little too much. KG, I'll let you fill people in because I can't see myself talking about it.
Well,
but I'll let you and Captain over there go ahead and have some conversation about it. So go ahead and talk to me.
I need me a nice drink right here.
First and foremost, good evening. Nubian Sumo, let's go ahead and do it the correct way. Nubian Sumo, what are you drinking and what you smoking?
Well, tonight the Nubian Sumo is powered by the Black Star Line cigar line. It's a new stick for me, so I'm trying it out for the first time. I believe I was told this is a black-owned company, so make sure you get a hold of one of these. I'll give you my opinion on it here a little bit. And then we're going with the Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style. But, of course, even though I'm drinking this, you got to buy you some Fort Mose. Fort Mose got a whole lot going on right now. They got their broke ground on their new distillery and event site, and they're in a whole bunch of different stores now, and they're starting to move all over the country and restaurants and bars and all kinds of stuff. So now you use our promo code, which is down here at the bottom, www.buyfortmose.com/discount/maniacs. Get you your 10% discount. And then on top of that, you buy you 2 bottles, you get free shipping. So go ahead, get you a bottle of Fort Mose, get you 2 bottles of Fort Mose, and celebrate with me tonight. Because tonight is a good night. Tonight is gonna be a good night. Tonight's gonna be a good night.
Well,
because you ain't gonna be able to see somebody.
Let's start off, and we go in order here. The night started off. The pre-show was just a lot of talking. No matches on the pre-show tonight.
Let's get to the good stuff. That way we can get him out the way. Because I ain't got time to be waiting and let no tension build up. Just talk about it. Get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off so we can talk about
this. No. See, you go ahead and do what you were doing. Go ahead and do what you were doing. Let's do this the proper way.
We don't do proper.
Yeah, we do proper. We do proper a lot. We don't do proper tonight. So go ahead, KG. Continue, sir.
But call the wheel then. Fine. Call the wheel. I'm off. Call the wheels.
The night started off with the men's Money in the Bank. So you had Drew McIntyre. I can't even name everybody. Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight. All in the men to start this match off. And what's crazy, I watched this match and I said, you know what? This is LA Knight's match. Now, if we were doing picks, I lost within the first 2 to 3 matches. So I lost. But I said, this is the night that LA Knight walks out. And for those that join the Sideline Junkies on Twitter, thank you. Tweeted through the whole entire thing. A lot of moments and a lot of bullshit moments that I really didn't like. And I said it online and I'll say it again here. We're going to call Johnny Cochran about this bullshit. And I'll get to that bullshit, the first set of bullshit in a second. But after a grueling match, some great spots in that match. Drew McIntyre winds up securing the briefcase to have a shot at the title. People's Choice Don Rodriguez. I mean, how did you feel about that ladder match, man?
Just a bullshit.
We're going to call Johnny about it.
That's all I got.
Sumo?
Oh, I enjoyed the match. this pretty much went the way I figured it would, because just like the storyline is playing out, you kind of knew that Drew was going to win it, and you knew what was going to happen later on. So it was right there for you.
Ben Richardson checking in. Good evening, young men. Have a nice and eventful program. Thank you. And good evening to you as well.
Yes, Ben. Yes. In case you're joining us late, it's a good thing.
You're taking too much pleasure in all this. I just want to say, you're gonna have a receipt. I'm telling you now, you're gonna have a receipt.
If you
It's cool. It's cool.
Agreed. What would you get his match? What grade would you give this match?
No, the Money in the Bank ladder match wasn't too bad. I'd give it a B.
Sumo?
Yeah, I give it a high. I give it a high B. It wasn't that many. There wasn't that many real high spots in the match because you couldn't really give away a whole lot of that early in the show. But for what it was, it set up what it needed to set up. So I give it a high B.
Here's a question. Do you think that LA Knight, that momentum that he had about a year ago, that was never really tapped into, do you think that it's done?
No, he's still getting the pops. The Yeet versus Pop. He's fine. He'll get his day when the right lane and avenue is available for him. Because right now you've got too much going on. You've got the Drew situation going on. You've got the Roman bloodline, Cody Rhodes situation going on. You've got the Damian Priest a Judgment Day storyline going on. I wouldn't want him to become champion, and then it's overshadowed by a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So he doesn't need the Money in the Bank.
Realistically, could be his year because everything else should be buttoned up by WrestleMania if we had to do long-term storytelling.
Yeah, he doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's doing well on his own. I'm like you said, they're gonna call his spot his at some point. So there's no need to rush into him getting a title at some point or whatever. He's doing all right. So yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets drafted to Raw next year. Because that way you could do a lot of, the dummy button and all that stuff on Netflix without interruption or, they have a lot more freedom for him to get a lot more hardcore in his storytelling and his presentation. So we'll call it down the road now. But, I think LA Knight on Netflix would be a good spot. That would set him up to become champion.
Speaking of which, Michael Cole almost had a moment tonight where he thought he was already on Netflix.
Michael Cole is just unhinged ever since the regime change. So it's just fun to see Michael Cole get into his element, finally get to have some fun. He's got the longevity in there. So now he's almost at that Jim Ross level, I would say, dare I say, to where he could just call a shot, just GOAT status, just do your thing, Michael Cole. And I think that's where they're really leveraging and allowing that to be, especially with his interaction with Pat McAfee and even with Corey Graves.
Second match of the night, IC title on the line. Sami Zayn defending against Braun Breaker. Something I tweeted out before. Braun Breaker is going to be your next breakout star. But he did not beat Sami Zayn tonight.
I was shocked.
I wasn't. And I'll tell you why when we get to it. But Sami Zayn defeated Braun Breaker. Sumo, why weren't you surprised?
It's not Braun's time yet. I mean, they're gonna build him up and they're gonna give him some great matches and they'll let him showcase himself. But yeah, it's too early. It's too early to put a title on him right now. So just let him do his thing. Let him build up to where he gets to the point where he's going to be that main event guy, and then they'll strap the rocket to him. No problem. No, this is just too soon right now.
And People's Choice, why were you surprised?
Because I thought that was going to be the shocker of the night. The shocker I would want, I didn't get. I know it's still too early for it, but coming out of what happened last Friday with Paul Heyman, I thought that would be something. But since we didn't get any true reference to that post-match, I thought that would be the shocker of the night. Because, well, technically, the men's Money in the Bank ended up being the shocker of the night. But if everything was going by the dirt sheets and the rumor mill, we pretty much knew who the Money in the Bank winners would be. So then if that's pretty much called a spade, then that would have been a shocker of the night.
Well,
and that the rumor mill for the men's was that, pretty much it was almost a foregone conclusion that Jey Uso was going to win the Money in the Bank. They almost gave us that, but then they gave us the swerve with Drew. So respect on that one. It's playing out well.
Yeah, I wouldn't have given it to Jay. I wouldn't have given it to Jay because Jay right now is in the same position as LA Knight. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no. Jay's got a slot to take him to Mania. His ticket's already cashed. That's the difference. We've already talked about it. Jay's going to end up, in the Civil War on the side of Roman. So he's got a storyline. So I get why they didn't, because then he's got to worry about Money in Bank and, joining with his brother and Roman and whomever else, leading towards a war game scenario or something of that nature.
Well, I'm not saying he's in the back position as LA Knight, but in a similar position. Like you said, he's already established himself pretty much. He's got the pops coming. People are behind him. He's chasing. Everybody likes to. There's some, like we always say, some people are better chasing, some people are better holding. So he's really doing really good at chasing right now. And like you said, he's got something in the future to build up on, or to something that's coming. So, what's the point in putting the Money in the Bank on him? If anything, you put a title on him, you put a belt on him, and let him move around like that. But nah, he doesn't need the Money in the Bank right now.
Well, I would have put the Money in the Bank on him for after. I mean, I'm talking Mania. He would cash in, just because we have to establish, like I was talking about last week. Once we've done with Civil War and all that other stuff is going, what do you do with all these daggone Samoans? You got too many of them. There's things that can be done, but where do you go from there? And it doesn't mean that he would have to take the belt from Roman, or let's say if Roman becomes champion again, or somebody from the SmackDown side, or Cody. I'm thinking on the other side of the coin, Seth Rollins, Drew, CM Punk, Damian Priest. I mean,
I'm not even thinking that high. I'm thinking like Logan Paul.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I'm just answering why I would put the belt on. I mean, give him the Money in the Bank, because down the road, that's when he could cash in on somebody on that side. That way, you got that that hype moment, that super moment. When you go into Netflix, you eating with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Make a good visual. That's the only reason why I was thinking of going in that direction. I'm long-term storytelling on a different level than just working it out. But again, I get it, because he's got the program with the Bloodline coming, so that'd be too many irons in a pot thus far.
Let me say this. Going back to Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn, I wasn't surprised about Breaker losing that, because he had to. There was no, I don't want to say there was no payoff, but he had to win that. He had to lose that, because Sumo said it earlier. Some guys are just better chasing right now. and he's still trying to build up himself to get over. I mean, he's already over, but he got to pay his dues. You can't just come in the thing and not pay your dues. So
yeah, but we're also in that new era, shock and awe. We haven't had a upset of that level in quite some time. Even with Drew winning Money in the Bank, that wasn't an upset of that level, but him taking the belt from Sami Zayn at the end,
or
at least beating down Sami Zayn afterwards. We didn't get that either. So
you know what shocking all turns into? Shockingly awful.
If done incorrectly.
Yes. And here's the thing. And I love saying this because I said it on Twitter the other day. If you didn't hear it fleshed out on this show right here, it's going to be done awfully. So, thank you, WWE, for always keeping us in your pocket, but never paying us.
Ain't that the truth?
Next up, big topic of the night. This is probably one of the things that had everybody sit up on the edge of their seat, and probably moment of the night. John Cena announced his in-ring retirement. This is why
Where's Paul Heyman when you need him?
This is why the Nubian Sumo had to put out a wellness check, because if you watched us, listened to us over the past 6 years, if I'm not mistaken, we coming up on year number 7. No. Yeah, we coming up on some time. This will be year number 6 for the WrestleManiacs next month. But I'll give this over to the People's Choice Don Rodriguez and let him explain and express his feelings on how this made him feel.
F you, Sumo. That's all I got.
You gotta.
I'm not gonna get all into it. I'm gonna make you wait for it. Just know that I will be somewhere seeing John Cena perform one last time. Out of solidarity, you won't see me.
Nubian Sumo, were you surprised by this announcement?
I was actually surprised, yes. The fact that they actually came out with. I mean, it was bound to happen. It was going to happen at some point, but I wasn't expecting it to happen this soon. I figured, he had at least a couple, 3 more WrestleManias in him. I don't know how long this Peacemaker deal gonna keep him paid, but he's definitely got that. What's that car dealership that he keep doing commercials for? What's that car maker? Yeah, he does some car maker he be doing voiceovers for, and then he got all these movies he got coming out and all these shows that he keep hosting and all this stuff. So he don't need this WrestleMania this WWE money,
well,
but
we'll pay him a lot better than what he doing.
What's that?
If he came on down to Helen Hunt Motors and cut a commercial.
Dang,
I guarantee we'll pay way better. And if you don't know by now, I'll tell you now. You looking for a car, but your money's funny, your change is strange, and your credit won't get it. Helen Hunt Motors is where you need to be. It's only one location, so it's near you. I guarantee that you will walk in there with a car on your mind and walk out with that car. Don't ask no questions. We tell no lies. That's our guarantee.
Cars so good they make you slap your mama.
Yeah, just don't ask where we got them from. So if you're looking for a car, you're looking to get from point A to point B, and sometimes point C, go to Helen Hunt for it. Now, Moving on to the World Heavyweight Championship. This is our first Johnny Cochran moment of the night. Damian Priest versus Seth freaking Rollins. We had a couple of botches in this match. It just seemed like they weren't on the same page. But did you guys see that 3 count that wasn't a 3 count? It was a 2 count.
Nah, I think I might have blinked on that one.
Right before Drew cashed in, Rollins had Damian Priest pinned. The referee goes in 1, 2. The crowd goes 3. He goes, it was just 2. Damian Priest never moved. I think Damian Priest is actually out for a minute. He was unconscious for a minute after the Falcon Arrow.
Possibly.
Okay.
Comes down. He cashes in. It turned into a triple threat match. Great way to save it. And just great way to save it. But Seth Rollins won that belt. Drew McIntyre cashes in. And then all of a sudden, from underneath the ring comes none other than Phil himself, CM Punk. And immediately I was on the phone calling Johnny Cochran about this bullshit.
Why? Why?
Thank you.
That makes for good television.
Mrs. People's Choice seen it. But what do you mean that makes for good television? This is the second time.
Yeah, I mean, hey, CM Punk said it. He said, as long as I am wrestling, as long as I am breathing, Drew McIntyre will never get a world title. He'll never win a world title with me still in existence. So you knew when Drew won the belt, Drew won the briefcase rather, and he cashed in. Not all that was a one-shot, 3-kill opportunity for CM Punk. One is squandered the Money in the Bank cash in. 2 is messed up Drew McIntyre, kept it from winning the world title. And 3, Seth Rollins can now not do the challenge for the world title as long as Damian Priest has the belt.
True indeed. Over on IG.
Why not do that?
Over on IG. We got a comment over on IG. OG Indomitable. My man Jew, he said it's great for storyline and feuds. I get it, but come on now. This Drew McIntyre we talking about, man. Like this cat's been
all this is gonna do.
BS.
No.
Call Johnny Cochran about this shit.
All this is set up a hell of a sale between them two.
Okay, here's my thing.
A sale cage match for them two to have it out at the very end of this thing.
Here's my thing. This is why I say it was a Johnny Cochran moment. Because Drew McIntyre had the COVID, his basic COVID title run with no fans. The pop wasn't there. It was just like a dull title run. And he really didn't get to do much with that. You get it back to him just to take it from him at WrestleMania. Damian Priest cashes in, take it from him at WrestleMania. You got to change the right to wrong of the 2020 title run, and he cashes in tonight, and we get nothing.
Plus, you have to remember what's been going on for the past few years. The Money in the Bank briefcase switches between men and women as to who gets the long run. Men got it last year. The women will get it this year. So it's gonna be a while before you see the women's Money in the Bank briefcase come into play. They alternate. They've been doing that for a while now. So of course they had to get rid of the Money in the Bank briefcase some kind of way. Best way to do it. Why not let CM Punk screw him out of it?
Haven't we seen, though, in the past a situation like this to where they actually said the cash-in did not officially take place because
but that cash-in.
Well, listen to me. Same scenario. I could have swore I've seen this where they, instigated a triple threat, but because of a run-in, then on the person that was cashing in, that was not counted as a cash-in.
I don't recall where you saw that. I mean, the first triple threat cash-in was Seth Rollins.
No, what are you talking about?
I do vaguely remember that.
The first cash-in to become a triple threat was Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that was the first time that.
Like I said, it was somebody that was good at cash in. It was looking like it was going to be a triple threat. They were all set to make it happen, and then you had the run in, and then they said that the cash in didn't happen because the match didn't really go through. I guess WWE is different because Drew did get pinned, so I guess technically you could see it. But I could have swore that was.
They make up rules as they go along. They make up rules as they go along. Plus, right. Once it became official that was a triple threat match, no disqualifications.
Yeah.
So I mean,
right, Drew, I was trying to get you some plausible deniability there. At least an argument to say, hey.
Drew, you shouldn't have signed that new contract and maybe went to TNA and wrestled Moose.
Does that make Drew the third or the fourth person to have an unsuccessful cash-in? Isn't that the fourth?
Let's see. I know who the first one was. Who was the first person to flood to get money in the bank briefcase? Yeah, you can't see him either.
Oh boy!
That one. He set himself up for that one.
But I vaguely remember somebody.
And that's why I turned my camera off. It's like, God dang it.
I vaguely remember somebody cashing in and not counting. I remember them cashing in a couple of times and not counting.
Right.
They cashed in and it hadn't counted and it didn't count for whatever reason. Yeah, they almost a false finish with the briefcase. Yeah.
So you're about to get that beat now. You're about to get that unicorn.
Yeah, bring me the unicorn. Bring me the unicorn.
You gotta chill out.
I earned it. I'm earning it tonight.
But overall, outside of the botch, what did you fellas give that match between Priest, McIntyre, and Rollins?
I mean, I thought it was good. I was also truthfully not hoping for a CM Punk run-in. I was hoping for them to continue to do something or come to that fruition from the Judgment Day, somebody to come out, a.k.a. the Prince. So if he would have come out, just standing around just to distract Damian, we could have done other things after that. But, I guess this whole Judgment thing is really hinging on Rhea Ripley. She's got that storyline hostage.
Well, hold on. The way they building it up with this whole thing with Liv Morgan and Dom
and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, now you got Rhea, and now Rhea's out.
That's what I'm saying. Rhea Ripley's got it hostage.
Yeah,
but nobody else matters in that group, and that's the funky sucky thing because you have the champion in that group.
No. Pull my coat and follow me on this. If you think about it, how many people have been out on injury, long-term injury, not having any TV time, whatever, but everybody's still talking about it?
Stone Cold.
Okay, that's one. Name another.
Triple H?
Maybe. But nobody's talking about anybody else out on injury the way they're talking about Rhea Ripley. The way she's mentioned on TV, the way the fans are talking about her, everything that they're
To
talking
be out, like he said, to be out this long and for her name to keep coming up every week, yeah, this is unique.
It's unique, but it's also a testament to where they were going with the storyline. If she would have got injured, then we would have had that continuation. So it's just working in their favor. They're just capitalizing on Liv Morgan's revenge tour, and they just did a pivot. Hey, let's go and pivot, work this out, work this program with Dom. We just could go a little bit further than just the innuendos, and Rhea just keeps popping in. So now they can play it up a little bit more. So when Rhea comes back, now we're going to have Dom in a shark cage or Dom in the bank or something like that. I don't know. Once again, there may be yeah, there'll be another ladder match for possession of Dom.
And then the thing is,
another match for possession of Dom beneath the Mysterio.
Yep. Guerrero.
Mysterio and Guerrero too.
Yeah. Yep. And here's the thing. What is it doing? I mean, what it is doing is making Rhea Ripley's title reign that much more exciting.
Yeah.
It's making Rhea Ripley.
Liv Morgan's as well.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Liv Morgan, and making her title reign more exciting, making Rhea Ripley just become that more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, making her more relevant.
Over on IG, my man Juice is Finn Balor should have been the one interrupting.
I said that's where I thought too. I thought that was what was going to happen, or not physically interrupt, but just be there, and that would have caused a interruption. Then he would have lost. Then the cash in, and then there you go.
Right.
That was the direction I was thinking. I'm not mad again at where we are, because I think the CM Punk thing for what they just did at the post show, Drew is really working his hard. So keeping that storyline going. But I think he did mention at the post show that he knows where he lives. So if they have that home interaction, that casual WWE home invasion, Scottish style, and AJ Lee is home, that would be interesting.
Ooh.
If in the house you have pictures of the Young Bucks.
No, you know what you can bring back with that? You know what you can run back with that?
Or the Young Bucks kicks. There'd be some of their shoes there. They're pump. Were they Jordans, or I think they're Jordans, right?
No, Reeboks.
Reeboks, okay.
You can run back with that.
Yeah. Have a pair of those sitting on the mantle when Drew comes in, and then Drew looks at it like, "What is this shit?" and tosses them. That'd be the ultimate rib.
You can do it. You can do it to the point where you do a throwback of Pillman and Austin.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also we here.
Right. But you know what it also could revive?
What's that?
The In Your House pay-per-views, where they actually have a real match inside of their house. And it's like you going through the kitchen, you got him going out the back door, AJ Lee trying to stop it. And all of a sudden, Drew's wife coming in, she lays AJ Lee down, and they going at it. CM Punk and AJ and Drew going at it in the backyard, and it's just like a whole Chicago thing, man. You can do so much with that. Don't get me started, man. Because then
you have the Bad Blood pay-per-view, which was just announced to be in October. So that could be your cage match or your Hell in a Cell. That would be an anniversary of a Hell in a Cell.
Now there's another player that's about to be involved in that storyline.
Besides AJ?
Besides AJ.
Who would that be?
The dog?
No, not Larry.
It's not going to be his boy, CM Punk's boy that's over in TNA.
No, it's not going to be Colt Cabana.
No, not Colt Cabana. The other guy. I can't remember the manager. He's a manager of somebody right now. Huh? No.
Ace Steel?
I was brain
No,
farting.
not Ace Steel. I'm talking about with Drew.
Not Sheamus.
No.
Who?
There has been an announcement made within the last couple of days that Wade Barrett is talking about getting back in the ring.
He's been talking about that for a while, though.
Yeah, but he's really talking about it now. And then after everything that's been happening with CM Punk and his run-ins, and after the first one, when Wade Barrett was the only one that was able to calm Drew down after the first time.
Yeah, I can see that. So we're gonna have some bad news.
Bring Wade back is almost like an advocate or a manager type situation with Drew as somebody to watch his back.
And you know
to kind of back in.
So that means you slide Big E into his commentating position?
You could.
Well, I mean, you could. I mean, Big E is already doing all the pre-shows now. So, I mean, no telling when he's going to come back, if he ever comes back. I mean,
I like to believe that, it's possible considering that Bryan Danielson is wrestling. Shawn Michaels came back.
Yeah, but this is totally different. This is one of them things with
we said the same thing about Edge.
Yeah, and every time Edge takes a bump, everybody.
Well, no, at this point, we're like, well, just go and take the bump. Worst he's gonna do is what he just did, break his leg. Like, I don't even know why you thought that was a good spot. I'm just gonna jump straight down. Nobody caught me. Straight down. Well, you're the rated R ambulance. That's what you are right now.
And over on Instagram, Juice said custody for Dom. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a match. We know that.
Oh yeah,
when
that'll be Mania. So that's if she's back by then. But she chose to do she being Rhea rehabilitation instead of surgery. So that's why they're stretching out this storyline longer than originally anticipated.
And she also got married.
Well, that too, yeah. So, but we're not going to talk about that because that'll mess up the storyline. Speaking of messing up storyline, side note, let's go ahead and jump over to the other paradox and astral plane. So we're going off the rails. How pissed? Well, I'm pissed. We talked about what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago about the picture of the Wyatt Six at the was it a Waffle House? That was the Waffle House.
Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Yeah, Whataburger. Now we have a full-fledged documentary on YouTube peeling back every bit of kayfabe about WrestleMania. Like they just went in.
They told everything.
We just gonna tell everything. We had no plans for this person. Cody had no idea. That I'm like, why are y'all exposing everything? For what?
And why did they have The Rock looking and sounding just like Vince Russo?
Yep.
This was my idea. This is what I came up with. I called this person and that person and said, "Here's what we need to do." Like he was running the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to know if y'all were as upset with that as I was, because I'm like, man, this is just straight BS. Like, what the hell?
I was actually about something else.
Signing off on that, and he believes. At least he said he believed in kayfabe back in the day and protecting the business. Now you just stripped it. It's bucket naked.
Now there's something else that I was pissed off about way more than that, which I'll get into next week. So, but next week, but because it has nothing to do with what's going on, what we talk about.
Oh, okay.
So I'll start next week off with some beef.
Oh, snap. Somebody got some beef. Segment. We haven't had beef on this show in a while, other than the beef I have with you right now, Sumo. But go ahead, KG.
You'll be all right.
I think
just make sure you don't. Just like I told Ray Lewis in Atlanta, to his server at the ESPN zone, make sure you don't give him a knife.
You're so stupid.
Oh man! All right, our next to last match of the night.
You're so stupid.
Women's Money in the Bank, which, in my opinion, tell me if you agree. And anybody down in the comments, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Match of the night was the Women's Money in the Bank.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Very much so. Very much so. Very much so.
I think it was the problem with the
so what? So if that was a match of the night,
hold on, Sumo, and we'll see if you agree with me, even though I don't like you right now. But the problem with that Money in the Bank, don't put that camera on, KJ. You'll turn the camera off. Now that there's a disagreement, you want to turn the camera off
because you're not supposed to disagree with me.
Oh, we disagree with your ass. Go ahead and show up. But the reason why I said to the wife, I was like, we know that Tiffany Stratton's going to win. There's so much inexperience for that type of match altogether that as you watched it, even from the beginning, they were trying to tell the story of Chelsea Green. So her making those movements and allegedly being afraid of heights, she had the plausible deniability of the match. But everybody else was just out of sync. The only one that made sense in the movements was Chelsea Green. Everybody else was out of sync, even to the one spot where they were setting up the ladder in between, or the one ladder in between the main ladder and the ropes. But because the main ladders were too far in the center of the ring, they had to stop. And Zoe, well, actually it was Io that pulled the ladder closer so that way it would be stable for the spot. You shouldn't see that. And that's just because there was so much inexperience. The only one that was experienced, I would say, in that match was Io, because she's been through one. Everybody else may have been through a ladder match, but there's so much that's happening in those matches, just like the Royal Rumble. Those extra seconds that you would see in between made it like we're getting there. Now, by the end of it, they started to pick up. But that first half of the match, like, dude, it was brutal.
Okay.
Missed spots.
Well, yeah, they had to lead up to what was going on. Plus the fact this was Naomi's third Money in the Bank match. So Naomi had the most experience out of everybody.
But they kept her mostly out of the match.
And that right there is my second Johnny Cochran moment of the night. That was that bullshit that I had to call Johnny about.
But we knew she wasn't going to win. So if she did more than the normal, we knew she would win. We knew that whole thing, based off of everybody that was in it, was not to give experiences. It was to make it believable for Tiffany Stratton to win. Again, that was one of the two that was a lock for the night. Jey Uso, Tiffany Stratton. We're 50% on, which is still good odds for the rumor mill. Well, nothing against Tiffany Stratton. I think she'll do a great job since we don't have. She's the closest to that Carmella vacancy. So I think she can fill that without a James Ellsworth. She can do a great job of filling that Carmella heel persona, because she's more Carmella to me than she is what everybody's trying to compare her to. The other one, what's her name? Mandy Rose.
Oh, Mandy Rose. Okay.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I can't agree. Sumo, you can talk about why you disagree with that being match of the night.
Hold on.
No, I agreed with it being match of the night. But go ahead, KG.
This is from Instagram. Juice says, "Nah, Big Kev, the men Money in the Bank stole the show. Andrade is low key the MVP of the night." That's what my man Juice say, and I'm not mad at that, but I just thought that you had inexperienced women. Now it was one botch in there, but other than that, that was a beautiful match, man. They took some bumps, and there was a couple spots in there that I was like, "Yeah, do you really want to pull that?" And they did, and they pulled it off. I
thought Zoe Stark died. I was ready to call it in for Zoe Stark after that spot. But
it was Io. Io's the one that you should have been worried about, because when she had that my whole incident, Nia's like, not me anymore. Io may have broke her coccyx or something. I don't know what it was, but man, she had no cushion for the pushing. So when she landed, that was all, ladder to bone.
And she took the brunt of that. I said,
but as she should by, the way you would pull off the move safely. It's just she didn't land in the right spot.
No, she took all of that.
Yeah, she did.
And the thing is, that's one of the ones you feel, and you don't feel it where you took it at. It vibrates all the way up. You feel it in your shoulders, in your neck. You feel it in your fingertips. And the way she was just kind of in the ring, and she was just up on her knees, and she was just laid back, and she couldn't fall all the way back. I said, I think she done.
Yeah. Thankfully, that happened at the end of the match, so she knew she didn't have nothing to do anyway. So that gave her the moment. But if she still had more to do, I don't know if she could carry it out. They may have had to tap her, to be honest with you.
I still wish Chelsea Green had won it, especially with her and Piper Niven being together, because Piper could have helped her protect it or helped her try to cash it in.
Yeah.
But then again, you got Tiffany Stratton with the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna probably try to pull off that 2-man power trip type thing, with her being Queen of the Ring and her being and Tiffany being Miss Money in the Bank. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But I would have really loved to have seen Chelsea Green with that briefcase for Matt Cardona to come into GCW or somewhere with the briefcase, talking about, I'm one half of Mrs. Money in the Bank.
That's probably why they didn't give it to her.
Right.
like he did with the tag titles.
Yep. And the funny thing was that was a replica. That wasn't even the title.
Right.
Mrs. People's Choice said she broke her ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. She broke her ass, tailbone, hip bone. She broke a lot of different things. But this is why I say it was match of the night. You didn't expect the spots that they pulled off in that match. I expected that in the men's Money in the Bank, like going through tables and everything. It was, my goodness, it was great. It was a really, really good match all the way around. And I'm not saying anything else was bad or wasn't interesting, but I was really impressed, and I felt, and this is what I wanted to say to you, gentlemen, when I was watching it. Once again, the ladies kind of sort of carried the show. Once again, because normally, they put the women first.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting that to be the first ladder match. I was shocked. The men came out like, okay,
with the men, and then you got the women, pre-main event. That says a lot, man.
Yeah.
Well, the men going first let me know that Drew was going to win it, pretty much.
So he could cash in.
So he could cash in later, try to cash in later. But like I said earlier, they couldn't do all of those spots like that because it was the first match of the show.
That's true.
How you gonna do all those spots like that and then have to follow that? And then what are the women gonna do? When it's their turn. So they couldn't do all those spots like that. And plus the fact, it's not like the men don't have trouble with maneuvering those ladders. The men have just as much trouble as the women did tonight. I've seen that. I've seen that for that little setup where they make the erector set out of the ladders and whatnot. I've seen that on plenty of shows where they try to put those ladders together and have a difficult time maneuvering those ladders and whatnot like they're supposed to be. So it is what it is.
Things happen. I just said it was just, you could tell it was some inexperience and some nerves.
But if I'm not mistaken, those ladders weigh anywhere from 25 to 50 pounds a piece. The taller the ladder, the more it weighs. And then you got to think about it. You got to grab that from the center. So you got to get the center of gravity so it doesn't tip on you. That's any ladder. If you work in the industry and you got to move a ladder around, you have to carry a ladder from the center, because if you don't, it's gonna go every which way on you. So you got to think about that too. I'm not saying these women are weak in any way, shape, or form. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you ain't used to grabbing a 50-pound ladder and setting it up on the fly and keep going, it's gonna be tough.
Right.
And moving over to our final match, main event, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu represented the Bloodline with Tonga Loa against Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens.
There you go.
BJ checking in real quick. He said, ladder 4 or 5 rungs from the bottom, best control.
That's from a ladder match expert.
Yeah,
ESPN Zone certified.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just say I've cheated at a lot of ladder matches with that guy. But this one right here, did it live up to the hype? It looked predictable.
Yeah, I thought it was better than the build-up. I thought it was a pretty solid match. Why he turned it off again?
Because I got to do something. I'm here.
There's a lot of expectation actually coming into that match because a lot of people were thinking there was going to be some kind of follow-up after the Paul Heyman spot. But it was, they didn't need
to. They obviously can't because of Sika. So rest in peace. So it's just unfortunately bad timing.
And then on top of that, a lot of people were thinking that Hikuleo was going to show up tonight. So
yeah, I knew that wasn't going to happen based off.
I didn't think it would happen.
The action was like that.
Yeah, I didn't think it would either. But yeah, it was a lot of expectation coming in, and a lot of people were kind of disappointed with this match because of all those things that didn't happen. But it was a good match for what it was. I mean, you got Solo establishing himself now by pinning Cody Rhodes at the end of the match. So he's put himself right there in title contention. If they're gonna go after that, if they're gonna go in that direction.
No.
So what? No, what?
If you didn't see, maybe you didn't see what I saw. I said it to Dario. I said, Dario, the reason why Cody Rhodes got pinned tonight, he was pinned tonight because the title wasn't on the line. They're not going to take the title off of Cody anytime soon.
Yeah, you got to take it out at some point.
It's not going to happen, right? Cody, I'm not going to say he's going to have a Brock Lesnar type run, but one thing about Cody, he's the people's champion. Everybody loves him. 95% of the fans love Cody. You got a small set that doesn't really care for him because it's like, oh my God, all he does is cry. He wants to finish the story. And you those are marks and casuals. They don't understand what this means. Like, this man's making the rounds on TV shows and talk shows and morning shows. He's making the rounds. He's got a daggone thing for Bad Blood down in Atlanta with Metro Boomin. And for those that aren't familiar with Metro Boomin, I mean, geez, he got a whole album with 21 Savages. That's a straight banger. He produced a lot of songs. Then he's the genius behind BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. So Cody is not going to lose the title anytime soon. Now, if you looking at long-term booking, being honest, unless you keep KO and Randy Orton with Cody, and then probably bring somebody else with them to kind of make themselves a stable to go against the Bloodline as a stable. Maybe you could bring Jey Uso with them. Just something to kind of make it a stable. It's not going to be interesting if you got Cody going up against the whole Bloodline by himself. It's not going to be interesting. It reminds you more of Austin going against DX by himself. Or, dare I say it, Dusty Rhodes going against the Four Horsemen by himself. And what happened? The Four Horsemen put hard times on Dusty Rhodes.
just to go back to the John Cena point, when did you first find out?
But that would be a great point to bring in Roman Reigns.
To put with Cody? So you want Roman Reigns to make a Kevin Durant move?
He's not coming in to save Cody because they got unfinished business.
Right, but he's going to align with you. Make him make a Kevin Durant move. I lost the title to you, so instead of me coming back to beat you again, I'm gonna join up with you to help you beat the team. No.
Because they're gonna be one person short.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
And that last slot is gonna have to be Cody. And
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be all Samoans. But
who? Because it can't be The Rock. Everybody that's coming in now is going to be on Solo's side. So
not necessarily. I've broken this down a few times. You still, Jacob Fatu is still a loose cannon.
Yeah, and I remember I'm with you on that. But I like him with Solo. Because it's almost like the old heads versus the young bucks. AEW, pun intended. I like him with Solo. I like the dynamic of seeing him and seeing Tama Tonga, two different levels of crazy. But I wouldn't want to see a face Umaga. But what I saw tonight, man, that was almost like Umaga without face paint.
Yeah.
Oh, he is Umaga without face paint, and he's been compared to Umaga forever. You know, with the facial set, the whole thing, they've compared him to Umaga.
And that's what I want. I don't want him to go, and next thing you know, he's just hanging with Roman. We cool because they building him up as being, you know, they talk about his Jay. You know, that dude is just hardcore.
I believe Jacob Fatu is a plant sent in by Roman. That's my opinion.
See how it plays out, but I hope not. I hope not, just because I want him to be the heel that he needs to be right now. Because I think he's going to tell that better story.
The boss BJ.
Because remember, you got right. No, that's what I was saying. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So if Cody does end up hooking up with Roman at some point, that would be a reason to do that. You know,
right. We've seen it even more times. How many times you've seen it just in the 80s? You know what I'm saying? Flair versus Dusty, and the next thing you know, you turn the TV on, and Flair and Dusty is standing next to each other, going against the Volkovs or somebody. You know, Magnum.
Yeah, how do you think Dusty and Nikita got together?
Right.
Come on now.
Every time you blink, it was like, whoa, what did I miss? I was just, so just trying to play catch up. So it's possible, but it is going to depend on exactly if they're going to do the numbers game. Like I said, that one extra will determine if it's Roman saving Cody.
It depends on whether they go 4-on-4.
Cody's going to have.
It depends on whether they go 4 or 5-on-5.
I think it's going to be 5-on-5.
If they go 5-on-5, I see The Rock ending up being with Solo.
Yeah.
And then Roman Reigns putting his team together, and it's going to include Jacob Fatu with Zilla. Because you got to remember now they're starting to bring up the fourth Uso. They're starting to bring up the fourth son of Rikishi.
Right. I would put Zilla with Roman. Keep Jacob.
That's what I'm saying.
With Solo.
I've said it a few times. Solo, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, Hikuleo, and The Rock versus Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Jacob Fatu, and Zilla.
Ooh.
Rikishi as the new wise man. Paul Heyman coming back under Roman Reigns.
Two things. Hold on. Juice said I can see Jimmy Uso helping them, and he also said if it's Cody versus Solo at SummerSlam, then Roman Reigns is coming back. Now this is what I heard. Take it with a grain of salt, throw it over the shoulder. But this is what I heard. If Rakishi's your new wise man, what was Umanga's mouthpiece? Armando Estrada?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would rather Armando Estrada come out.
Right. Somebody said he comes back.
I think that would be a great fit, but I'm cool with Rikishi too.
It would be a good fit only because of his connection. But think about it, and I said it. I've said this a few times too. I said it when it was just me and Ryder a few weeks ago. Solo needs a wartime consigliere. Just like in The Godfather, Michael went to Hagen and was like, look, I love you. You're my brother. You'll always have a place in this family, but I need a wartime consigliere, and who better than to guide me than my father? Solo is going to do the same thing.
So are we talking about this all coming to a head at Survivor Series in November?
Has to.
It got to
start to come to head because you would go Survivor Series. Survivor Series would be enough. It's got to end in War Games.
It's got to be War Games.
Now, where does that leave Cody?
Cody's going to have somebody else.
Cody's going to
program with Cena. Cody could be in that program. There's things that's in play that you can find somebody for Cody. That's enough.
Speaking of Cody,
yeah, for Survivor Series, just a title defense against John Cena as a last send off. Give him one more title shot before he goes off into the sunset. You know he's going to lose it. What difference does it make? You just wait a reason to put Cody on the card.
Okay.
Actually, I would have him keep it and then retire with it at the first Raw on Netflix.
Nope. He gotta have the farewell match. It's not gonna be Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. It's not gonna be Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Now, Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, I can't watch that match. Because just like everybody sitting here, we all cry when he just do it. I'm sorry. I love you. Super kick. Everybody boo-hoo cries. Cena got to have that moment. He has to have that moment that is etched in everybody's memory. That match was 10 years ago, and everybody still talks about it. They say, when boys cry, and then when men cry. This is when men cry. And we're talking 10 years ago, and people are still talking about crime.
John, I'm calling it right now. Mark your calendar. I'm calling it right now. WrestleMania, John Cena's last match is going to be a pass the torch match against LA Knight.
Well, you got 6 months to build that up. A little over 6 months.
And I must have struck a nerve because Don Rodriguez has gone silent. Unless he's starting to cry again because that's going to be his last match.
No, the only way that would work for me is that a belt would have to change hands.
No, you don't need a belt. You don't need a belt.
No.
You don't need a belt. It's like I said, it's a pass the torch moment. It's this.
Cena is going to end on a loss, but
which he should.
He's on a losing streak, so he's got to have a winning streak with purpose.
They didn't get Kurt Angle a winning streak with purpose. Kurt Angle lost, what, 25 straight matches?
Kurt Angle is not, a defining force in the business and industry. He's a great contributor to it, but he is not with no disrespect to Kurt Angle, I'm quite sure he would agree. You know what I'm saying? John Cena is on a whole nother level.
So what you saying is John Cena is head and shoulders above Kurt Angle, your first real Olympic gold medalist, a member of the Main Event Mafia, your second Euro Intercontinental Champion, because D'Lo Brown was the first.
If we took John Cena out the WWFE equation, if he didn't exist from the prototype on, where will we be at? I think AEW will be winning.
No.
If the WWE still exists.
No. Because here's the thing.
Okay.
This if you want, if I'm
hey, Sumo, you better get your boy. You better get your boy and tell him. I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Ain't no devil's advocate.
I'm
gonna
play devil's advocate because you talk about John Cena not existing and would the WWE still be around? Remember, everybody blamed John Cena for the PG era because we went from the classic era to the golden era to the attitude era. Hold on. To the attitude era to ruthless aggression. When we were at ruthless aggression, from attitude to ruthless aggression, that was a great peak. Then we went to PG, and what happened? Everything got off. Everybody
pull John Cena out of that. Pull the Dr.
We would never have had the PG era.
Pull Hustle. The PG era was not on John Cena. The PG era was on how much money they was raking in from the USA Network, and USA saying, "Hey, look, our sponsors." They're not liking, you know what I'm saying, people taking their top off on Monday Night Raw for DX and all these other things. You're gonna have to stop that if you want this big bag that's coming.
But hold on, they were on USA.
They shut that mess down for the money. That had nothing to do with John Cena.
No,
John Cena just pivoted his persona.
No, sir. They were on USA doing bra and panty matches, doing evening gown matches, doing mud wrestling. They were on USA doing all this before, making tons of money.
And thanks to ruthless aggression and all this stuff and John Cena, there was more sponsorship, Fruity Pebbles, and everything else that was starting to take note. But Fruity Pebbles does not want to be associated with a bra and panties match.
That's why we got Bootios.
Plausible deniability on a Bootio. That's a play.
You look at me like that?
Look how long it took for us to get to that point, and then look who was presenting it. Let's call a spade a spade. You're like, oh, that's just them black people out there. You know what I'm saying? Just playing around, doing what they do. Talk about Bootios. We ain't gonna pay them no attention. Then we're gonna monetize it and sell some Bootios and make a couple $100 million, but we ain't gonna pay them no attention. But if you take John Cena out of that, it doesn't work. All the key matches that he was in, all the key angles and storylines and everything else, they would not have survived the pandemic.
Wait, time out. John Cena, what did John Cena do during the pandemic other than his match with Bray Wyatt? What other match did he have during the pandemic?
The point is
set everything off?
That everything wouldn't have worked and congruence with each other to be able to allow there to be enough talent, storyline, and everything else to be able to survive that live and continue to be the longest reigning weekly episodic television show in history. We're not going
to do that. We're not going to move the goalposts. We're not going to rewrite history because during the pandemic, the women's evolution.
We know that John Cena wasn't there.
WWE.
But we're talking about if we remove John Cena from it,
we still got
storylines. There was the consistent runner through the entire thing.
Yeah, because they shoved him down your damn throat. But that's when the product was. That's when it was lost product.
But people watched to boo him. They watched to cheer him.
You people.
No, they're not you people. He said people. Shut up.
I thought he said you people.
He didn't say you people.
I'm just stating the fact, and that's not even being a mark for Cena or anything like that. If you pull him out of it, and this is just in pure retrospect to him versus Kurt Angle,
BJ said that makes Cena even bigger. And Cena was the main gear for a while, and that gear don't move, the car is stuck. I get that.
Right.
And Jew on
And who's the new gear? Roman Reigns.
Yes.
You only had 2 gears. Think about that. You went from Cena to Roman.
But it took a while for Roman to stick as a gear.
Right. And look at all the fumbling that we had throughout that.
But think about this.
But once Roman became a gear, we see where we are now. We got Netflix. We got everything else.
Think about this. When Cena was the gear, how many times on this show was it complained about him being forced down the throat? Not by you, but by others of him being forced down the throat. Same thing with Roman.
The issue wasn't how much Cena you saw. If you remember about those conversations, the issue was that Cena shouldn't have beat everybody. Because at that point, there's nobody to beat him. And that's where kind of Roman was going in the same direction until Cody fell into the lap of the WWE. Like, all right, well, now we got an end game.
Even the boss complained.
You wasn't complaining about Cena being there. It's just Cena shouldn't have beat the Big Show and 18 other people in the Royal Rumble. You know, I got 30 people in the Royal Rumble, 20 of which Cena eliminated in that same 5 minutes of him being there. That is, that's a little too much.
I am in no way, shape, and or form have ever been a fan of John Cena. Okay? I cannot say that I have. And even though I've been messing with him all day, I have to agree with Don. Now, you have to realize how many people, how many wrestlers John Cena has actually made in that build-up from what y'all are talking about, PG era, attitude era, all that. You have to realize all of these wrestlers and everybody complained about him, like you said. Everybody complained about whether or not John Cena was relevant or whether he should be in the place that he's in, all of that. But would we really have a Roman Reigns like on a 4-year title run if it wasn't for John Cena?
I guess not.
Come on now, you gotta consider everybody that he's made. I mean, where was Austin Theory before he got with John Cena?
Well,
yep,
I give you that.
Everybody that he's done a program with came out better on the other end dealing with John Cena. It just is what it is.
Okay. Well, look, I want to be able to use this. I want to be able to end this. So we're going to have this argument and continue this next week.
Well, we got 6 months to talk about it.
Yeah, we do.
John Cena tour.
And Juice says, I'd rather see Cena versus Gunther as his last match based on what you said, based on what I said. And I can see that. But Cena got to go out. He's got to have that moment that you're talking about, that final match 10 years from now. So in 2035, you're talking about Cena's last match. And you got a generation that's saying, yeah, that's when my childhood ended. Or you got a generation that's saying, yeah, that's when grown men cried.
That's why I said that's why I'm saying LA Knight. Because LA Knight right now is the only person on the roster that can go toe for toe on the mic with John Cena.
That'll be epic. My childhood ended.
Like I said, I got no problem with it being LA Knight. If we talked about it earlier today, in my opinion, 2025 would be LA Knight's year. John Cena becomes champion somewhere in his next 6 months. If we're going to pass the torch, pass it with a purpose. If you're going to go out on your back, he has a chance to make at Cena's level, somebody. So not only is LA Knight beating the GOAT, the greatest of all time, he is taking the belt from him. I'm cool with that. I think Cena would be cool with that. To go out on his back.
So
Lose the championship.
Give him Logan Paul again. Take the United States belt.
I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be a world championship, but I just want him to have
pull a Flair on him with the belt. He does the John Cena Open Challenge for the next 6 months, and he pulls a Flair. Whoever's the last person to beat me, that's my last match.
Well, we can't do that because we know it's going to be Mania. We have the end game, so that'd be the only flaw in that. Because we know in October, he's going to beat the person in October. He's going to beat the person in November. He's going to beat December, January, February, and March. So it doesn't make sense,
Right.
you know.
Right. That's what you said it yourself a little while ago. He's been on a losing streak. So you need to give him a winning streak that makes sense.
Yeah, just don't put the caveat in about it being my last match, because if he loses, then the tour is over. So that makes the Cena part of the Super Cena come back. I don't want that. I just want, LA Knight to become champion from John Cena. And I'm cool with taking the belt from Logan Paul. If that works, that's fine. I just want LA Knight to walk away, for them to be on the Raw after Mania, if it's on Netflix at that point, to be, LA Knight is going to Raw. If that's how they move him over, that's how they move him over pre-draft. And then John Cena's there like, hey, kid, congratulations, you did it. LA Knight blows him off. Cena's like, whatever. And just walks away and, rides into the sunset. And LA Knight does his thing. That's all. But KG said he wants to actually be able to post this, so we have to wrap this thing up. Can we all just do a "You Can't See Me" and then end the show? Would that be okay? Are you cool with that, Sumo? Can you at least participate?
I already did my "You Can't See Me."
See, that's what I'm talking about. I hate you. You know what, James?